Alright, so it's Saturday, May 20th. This is Dude That's Dope. And today we're going to be talking about Aliens Covenant. We watched it last night, yesterday, opening day. I guess today we're going to kind of go over it, give our opinions, and I'd say spoilers.
Definitely going to be some spoilers.
Okay. Most definitely then.
So if you haven't seen it yet, wait and then come back and watch it.
Yeah, might want to wait, unless you're one of the people that don't care. I mean, I'm kind of like that. Sometimes it doesn't make a difference for me. I'll still enjoy a movie. Anyways, Alien Covenant, the new Alien movie. It started off kind of odd. It started off like in a flashback. In a white room, the same one we see in the trailer, with Waylon, a younger Waylon. He's not super old. And he has David there. He tells him he is his father, his creator, or that he's his creator. David calls him his father, and that he is his son. And it shows him kind of asking a lot of philosophical questions, right? Like, who if he created David, who created him? And he was like, oh, the age-old question, right? And so I can't quite remember exactly the question he asked that kind of ticked off. Oh, because David said something about the difference between them is that he will die, that Peter Whalen will die and David will not, and I will not. He made some kind of comment like that. You could just see, like, just like that, something clicked in Whalen. He was like, David, bring me my tea. And his tea's sitting right next to him. You know, so he's being a total dick, dude. Waylon's a dick to David.
Can you be a dick to a robot, though, really?
I don't know. He obviously shows emotion, right?
I mean, him, more than the other models, I guess. Him more so.
Yeah, so,
They even say that he makes them uncomfortable, like whatever his model was. So they updated it to...
They had to update it to scale back on that personality.
Well, yeah, to go back to when it first started, Alien Covenant, when it first started out, and it's like just showed letters of the lines. It went back just how the original Aliens.
Oh, that's right, and it would slowly show the lines to make each letter.
That was so cool to me because it took me straight back to when I first saw Alien for the first time, and you know, I love that type of shit, the nostalgic shit. And
to make a big general opinion about it, if I were to say just like a few things about this movie, I would say they repeated a lot of stuff from previous movies.
Yeah. I love it though.
I mean, if you're someone like that's what you were looking for, you were just looking for stamped same shit that they've been doing for a long time, then this is the movie for you.
It was satisfying to me. It
was satisfying, most definitely. Some of the stories and what it did to change the lore kind of fucked me up a bit.
Well, that Prometheus already did that for me, but I went with it, and I was like, this is cool.
Well, then they went and just fucked that lore, too. They just went and said, well, fuck what happened with Prometheus. Let's answer none of those questions, except for maybe, like, what David and Shaw did. But nothing about the engineers, nothing about their home world, nothing about where they came from, or they elaborate zilch. Nothing. Nada about it.
Dude, well,
didn't that piss you off? That got me kind of upset after I started thinking about it.
I was hoping to see more of Shaw.
I wanted to see Shaw.
And when they showed me that David was experimenting on her, that was devastating. I felt so bad. That was one part where they made me, they got me to care about a character. That's the thing that they didn't answer either. Like, he said that she died in the crash, but then you find out that he's been experimenting on her, so which was it? Like, did she die in the crash, and is he experimenting? Or did he do something fucking terrible, which we know he's capable of doing?
That was one of my main questions. What happened to Shaw?
I think they're going to answer that in the next one.
Obviously, something busted out of her, right?
It looked like it.
Now, I don't know if they're going to do it like this or not, but what I would want to see is Shaw be the alien queen. Imagine that she's the one that's been birthing all of these aliens.
Oh my god.
She is the original alien queen.
I didn't even think of that.
That David created. if they play it that route, it is going to.
You remember how he put those 2 embryos?
That's what I'm saying. What if one of those is hers? Because look, when she wasn't split open in an explosive way. She was dissected. Did you notice her skin flaps were pulled back?
Yeah, I did.
And her jaw was removed and shit. So I think he went in and took it out. And then maybe did an autopsy to see like the kind of effects it was on the body. But I think he went and saved that embryo. And that is the alien queen. And that's what he's gonna do while Daniels and them are in, you know what's going on at the end. We'll get to that. But he
created the perfect.
He created the perfect alien. But the thing is these aliens are completely different, and
the upright standing one.
Yeah, he's walking upright at a point, and it is weird. It's like almost like a prototype, Yeah,
and they're like albino and shit.
Yeah, but they never show. And the other part that I didn't like is they never showed. I think they were called neomorphs. The black one at the end of Prometheus. They never elaborated about what happened to that alien, and because that's a true Shaw baby that she pulled out before it exploded out of her.
That's true.
Maybe that's where they go. They go back, pick that shit up. It turns out to be a queen or something. It's a mix between an engineer and Shaw.
Oh, fuck.
That would be interesting. But a lot of people were complaining about this, saying that this movie just fucked shit up. Because think about, they're saying, well, what about the Predators? Aliens and Predators are supposed to be having this war for thousands of years, right? Like that's what they said in the movies, in Alien versus Predator. Like, so that completely changed that. That must not have been a thing now.
Well, maybe it was going on before or after.
But David created. Well, I don't know, because
fuck up the timeline. I'd have to look into it and see the timeline, because I don't know.
I don't know. That's just something that I was looking at.
I know those worlds cross or mingle and play with each other, but
yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that because it does change things. And
it's like for Marvel and DC or something like.
I mean, I guess part of the cool thing about Aliens was that it was a mystery where they came from. This superior hunting animal, like beast. Where did it come from? That was part of its thing. It was a mystery, How did it get here? Like, what is going on? And for then, in just one fell swoop, David fucking... I've heard even people say this movie should be called fucking David Covenant or Aliens David, because he did everything. He wiped out the engineers. He created the xenomorphs.
Yeah.
He did everything.
Insane.
So,
but that's
I don't know about you, man.
We created him.
But we created him. So humans, Waylon technically created the xenomorphs. But I almost feels like a cop-out, man. It's like, that's too simple. What?
I think it's kind of beautiful in a way.
Because it's kind of like a snake eating its own tail, right?
I never trusted those I said it in the last podcast. I never trusted those synthetic fucking artificial.
Oh, of course not. Well, even in Prometheus, he kind of snapped a bit towards the end. And poisoning people.
More clear, though. Those things are not to be trusted.
Not to be trusted. And I had a lot of they had so many unanswered questions in here. I got a ton of notes. I don't know how much of them we'll get through.
I was really wondering about that black goo stuff. I guess it was able to form and go into like spores and get airborne.
Yeah.
And then when he dropped it, it was like coming down in like a tornado type of thing.
That's another thing. They're just rehashing old ideas. They went from black goo to saying that it evolved. It can take different forms, and now it's airborne.
Well, maybe it can. I don't know. That stuff seems pretty advanced.
Yeah, I guess.
Fuck it is, because we still don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, we don't know what it is.
But it has the power to create and destroy.
Well, you saw how fucking fast it destroyed that city.
Oh my god.
That's another thing.
Brutal.
For a race to be so advanced and so ahead of its time, creating biological weapons, having like anti-gravity ships and stuff, to be wiped out all in one
I know.
One fell swoop like that. Are you telling me there's no other ships that are on off planets or other colonies?
David was sending a signal to them like, "Hey, we come in peace" or something.
Well, it was an engineer ship. They probably thought it was their old crew, and he knew how to speak their language. So he might have been like, "Hey, we're returning. It's been 20 years or thousands of. Remember, they've been there thousands of years. That ship. Remember, they were gonna go to Earth to destroy it. So those engineers have been there thousands of years. So they're making a trip back for thousands of years. Maybe they sent a message saying, "Hey, we're on our way back." I don't know. The other thing is that the only city on that planet?
I would assume there would be more, but who knows? I don't know anything about these things.
And that's the point. That's the problem. I think that's these questions that I've been urging for, dude. Like, I've been wanting these answers for the past 5 years since Prometheus came out about these engineers. That science fiction part of it, I loved it, dude. Like, I wanted to know the story, the everything about them. And what did we get? Nothing. None of that.
David destroyed
He destroyed them. And he created the xenomorphs. What?
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. The movie in itself was great. Like, good. I liked it. Okay.
I was hoping to see more of Shaw, and I
wanted to see Shaw.
James Franco just like burned
to death. You couldn't even tell it was him until they showed some kind of video later on when he was rock climbing.
Oh, it was a tragedy.
You didn't even know it was him. The other thing, why was he tied? Did you see that? He was like zipped. He was like.
No, I could only see his face through.
He was like zip tied for some reason. Or you know what? They might have did it after he had burnt, because I saw it when it showed his burnt up body and shit. But that's the thing. Why even put him in the movie then if his part was going to be so insignificant?
I don't know. It was cool though, him and Danny.
It was cool for them to be there. I get why they did it, because Danny was there, but.
Oh man, it's weird.
Hey, you know, at first I thought Danny McBride wasn't going to be a good fit because he's a comedian.
He was one of the only ones that survived.
He was one of the ones that survived, but he actually acted pretty well.
Yeah, he's great, man. I fucking love Danny McBride. I've loved fucking Eastbound and Down is like my favorite show. Yeah. I love everything that he's ever done, though. Really.
But you know who went in and just swooped in and took the performance of the movie had to have been Michael Fassbender, no doubt. That motherfucker. Not only that, the motherfucker can act, dude.
Oh yeah.
Some of those fucking
and terrifying, like,
dude.
Fucking.
He got me scared just looking at him.
God damn! At the end when going back into the cryo sleep and he's just like. Puts his finger up to his mouth and just.
Yeah, dude.
God damn, so terrifying.
Yeah, because she was like,
she's gonna be asleep for 7 years until they get to that other planet, and who knows how much fucked up she's
just having like the worst nightmare, continuous nightmare.
2,000 colonists on board, like, well, he can use each one of them as a cocoon.
That's his. Well, see, that's where they're going with this story. That's how the aliens spread across the galaxy. Was David did it while he was on board the Covenant. He went planet to planet and just letting them out, creating planets of aliens. But man, that feels like that's too simple. I mean,
that's fucking terrifying.
It's terrifying, and it's scary that he could do that. He made himself a god essentially with that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And we made him, which is the fucked up.
Yeah, and we made him, which it's shit. I'm sorry, everybody. And we made him, which, what would you call irony, right? Yeah. Like, we created him to assist in the search for eternal life for Waylon, and what does it get? Death and destruction of everything.
But they make our lives easier.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna have a life to make easier.
Yeah, dude. So. I don't know. It looked like I was coming on a little loud, so I moved it a bit. What else? Let's see.
The one that popped up his back. Oh my god, that was so brutal.
Okay, that's one of the pros. That's one of the great pros.
God, that was so brutal.
That was.
And he just falls back. Oh.
And that's
gnarly.
exactly what aliens should be, right?
God damn, it was so brutal.
Like when you saw that, that's a true alien movie.
So
that's
and she's just locked in there and won't let him out.
Oh,
and then just scratching the shit out of her.
Okay, so that's the good. The bad about that. What the fuck was up with the little things that were the xenomorphs that were coming out of the chest? They should have been like a worm-looking thing, you know?
Oh, they were all different though. That one came out of that guy's throat. Remember that shit?
Yeah, but the thing is the chest burster and the back burster, when they come out, all it was like a mini xenomorph already. Yeah. That was odd, right? Because in the old ones, it pops out like a little parasite worm, and it looks around. And it's like, you know, and then it evolves. It's vulnerable for a second. It's vulnerable for a little bit. That's part of its like part of what makes it good, you know. And the infection, how long it takes till it bursts out in this movie was like so fast. But that kind of took away from the suspense, you know, because you know they're affected, and you kind of want to take that ride with them. You want to know how scared they are and the terror they're feeling when they're looking when they're
you already know
looking at themselves.
So why drag it out? Just
because it still brings suspense. It still brings terror. But if you would have used that logic, the whole story would just been going back and forth, just quick things happening, no context, no meaty shit, you know.
Well, they were able to fit a lot in. I mean, I thought if it was a 2-hour long movie,
yeah,
they fit a lot in there.
Yeah, and the complete 180 change of the tone and feel of that movie towards the end when they got up to the ship. It was just a complete change, and went from like kind of like a Prometheus type story to boom, like a classics alien movie in space with the long hallways and, you know, the shots of alarm lights flashing and steam coming out of it, you know, that kind of stuff. It turned into one of those, which is nothing wrong with that. It's great. It happened kind of sudden. There was no real transition for that. It
starts with losing your captain, so already there's a change in command.
They're setting up this premise that everything is going to happen like sudden,
and then from there everything's already off because it's a whole change in command. So then from there they're just like, okay, we're going to go to this planet, but then we found another planet, so we're going to check this one out. So then that changes. So like all their big plans and ideas, like none of them goes, and it's like, okay, we're protecting the colonists. We have this it's just us crew. Our main priority is to keep the colonists safe. But then it's like, fuck it, we didn't come to space to be safe.
Yeah. What? Like that makes no sense.
And all this crazy shit, like everything just changes.
Yeah.
Like, they had a plan, but they didn't stick to it.
They were real. What is it called?
Like, we didn't train for this. We were trained for all this other shit. Like, well, we're in space.
What happened when in space? Yeah, what happened in space stays in space because we're all gonna die. Yeah, man. I don't fucking know.
But yeah, the way and then the thing about it was when the one popped out of its back, and then the other chick is locked in there with him. And she won't let him. Won't let her out.
The second captain's way. That's the thing. There was 3 captains.
Eventually, she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go in there with a shotgun." So she does change her mind and open the door. And then she goes in there and she's about to shoot the thing, and she slips on blood. And she shoots him through the ceiling,
alerting the alien that she's there.
It's like, why didn't you let her out way earlier? Why now did you change your mind?
She had a chance. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. She got coughed on or whatever with blood. How did she not get infected?
She's like, I'm cool though. You gotta stay.
Yeah, you guys gotta stay, even though I got that shit all everywhere.
But then she finally, that thing broke through the glass and came out.
Like nothing.
She got behind the net, which was cool, and then she was shooting through that. But then she ended up shooting up something which caused the whole ship to explode, and then she came walking out of the ship on fire and shit.
Yeah. So okay. So that's the thing. So it goes where it starts off from Wayland to the ship. And the part that was kind of odd to me was they're on track for a certain star system with a planet that they've been researching for years. And all of a sudden, this planet pops out of nowhere, and Daniels calls it. She was like, it's too good to be true. It's, you know, a transmission with the human voice on it, blah, 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 you know, and...
Nobody wants to get back into the cryosleep pods after seeing James Franco be burned, fucking cooked, extra crispy.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, okay, so they go and they hit down on the planet, they open the door and walk out, And what do you notice, dude, when they walk out?
Nobody has any protection.
Nobody has any fucking protection on. What the fuck is going on?
Seems like fresh air to me.
A lot of dust in this air, but it seems fine.
I don't think I need to even put a bandana over my face. We have like all this technology and shit.
They walk out with absolutely nothing, and then it shows two guys. Okay, the first guy said he's gonna go take a piss, but he goes sits down to smoke a cigarette. You know, so he sits to smoke a cigarette, steps on these little pod things that
in his ear,
and it gets in his, but the shit started floating around like it was sentient, like it was searching for somewhere to get into.
Yeah,
which was kind of odd. I thought it was a virus, not something that could see and, you know, go in directions. And anyway, so he gets in there, and so he doesn't notice, but the one that notices that he breathed something in was the one who was like, hey, check this out, you know. And he gets up all close with his face and like touches it, and it like puffs out. Remember that one, like the Irish looking guy?
And it goes inside of his nose, right?
Yeah, it goes inside of his nose.
He starts like itching,
yeah, but the thing is, at that moment he should have gotten a little scared, wouldn't you?
Fuck yeah, you're on a fucking alien planet.
And he went on like it was nothing, which is so weird.
I thought that was kind of odd too, like why none of them had any kind of like...
Whose decision was that? Whoever decided that did not think things through.
They know nothing about that planet. Like they don't know, like they know that, okay, we can at least breathe, but like we don't know what kind of like plants they have here. We don't know what kind of, like, there could be other creatures here. Like they just went out there with like their guns, like, we don't need anything else but these, they'll keep us safe.
Like airborne shit's not a thing, you know?
Just shoot it out of the air.
Yeah, dude, it makes no sense. All right, hold up, dude, I want to check something. Anyways, all right, so back to this movie. That's, I don't know, man, it was kind of a mess for me. I enjoyed it, but I just wish it would have answered some other questions.
Well, that's why they said they're gonna make like 6 more. So I'm happy about that.
They completely erased the engineers, unless it's gonna turn out that there's more out there.
There could be more. That was just one. I mean, that was one.
I'm hoping it was just some kind of colony, like that wasn't the true home planet or something. You know?
Maybe, we don't know. Yeah, there's still 6 more movies to find out, but
because, man, I feel like it's a cop out to go out like that. Man. Okay, so, no comments. Yeah, it just felt real big on, like, for, you know, hey, look over here, forget the engineers. Hey, look over here, David and Walter are fighting. Look, David and Walter. Don't pay attention, you know, I don't know, that's how I felt, man, and because I really wanted to know what the lore behind that, so, and then I guess there was supposed to so originally there was supposed to be a movie, Alien 5, that was supposed to come out. That was supposed to complete Ripley's story and
by the guy who did District 9?
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp or something like that.
I love District 9 and Elysium.
Dude, District 9 was great.
Chappie, he's like, all his movies are really dope, man.
Man.
Chappie's hella tight. Fucking that guy did some. I was hoping they would make a sequel to District 9.
Yeah. Shit, man. I'm trying to look up his name. Fuck. Okay. Neil Blomkamp. Anyways, it was supposed to complete the alien storyline for Ripley and some of the other characters.
Sigourney Weaver was actually in Chappie.
And she was, yeah, that's true.
So he knows, like, he must talk to her about it or something.
So a lot of people are saying that they would have much rather have seen that conclusion rather than these prequels. And
I could still do it, but I think he did mention something that's a slim chance, or it's not.
Sigourney's not getting any younger.
That's true.
And that's the other thing, dude. Is it me, or did Daniels feel kind of like Ripley light, like Ripley diet Ripley? You know, like they were trying to get like a Ripley type character.
Sort of. She seemed a lot like Shaw too in a way. They all kind of.
Yeah, which is nothing wrong, but it's just if it feels like, man, they could spread out a bit if they wanted to. And we would probably.
I like Daniels though. She seems cool.
She was cool. You know, she doesn't seem like an actor. You know, she seems like an everyday person.
I was so sad for her when she lost her husband in the first fucking part of the movie. Like to nothing. Like he just fucking died. Like, why do they even have that feature on the sleep pod? Like, what feature is that?
Yeah, what caused it to catch fire like that?
No, like it seemed like an incinerator. Like what is that a feature for? I guess if you get. Like,
no, I think
why would you even have that?
I think what happened was some line broke, maybe like an oxygen line, because oxygen's flammable, and then maybe there was a spark and it lit up the little pod.
I guess so. That's like, how come there needs to be more of like an
and I get the door jammed somehow. Yeah, because the door they weren't even able to open it with the jack, or what are those things called? Crowbar. They weren't even able to open it with the crowbar. So
yeah,
I don't think a button would have done anything.
Really sad.
It is, man. It was sad in two ways. It was sad for her in the movie, and it was sad for everybody else because we didn't get to see James Franco in this movie, and that's fucking bullshit. Because I think that would have been pretty cool. I don't know.
It was pretty cool seeing him get burned.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But yeah, I did want to see more of him.
He burned
acting.
One down, dude.
Shit. That was awesome. In Pineapple Express too, it's in This Is the End. They're talking about doing sequels to all their old movies. And he's talking about like, let's do a sequel to Pineapple Express. He's like, but I want to die in like the most fucked up way. Like maybe Danny McBride eats me or something. Like a cannibal. And then that ends up actually happening in the movie, but I think he actually just wanted to go out in like a fucked up way.
Yeah.
Like he was like, oh cool, I get to get burned. Like, yeah, let's do that shit.
Oh, you know he did it just to be in it for
I wonder how much he got paid to do that. Like,
that's what I'm saying, man.
One line.
He probably got some money for that. But
I would have like just to be in an alien movie. It's gotta be so awesome.
I'd even wear a mask. I wouldn't have to show my face. Just to be there would be dope. All right, so going back a little bit to Shaw about possibly becoming the Xeno Queen, Alien Queen, because think about where the fuck did David get all those eggs from, and who else did he have as a host to make more xenomorphs from?
She's only one.
Exactly, and he had eggs. She has to be the queen. That's what I'm saying.
That's the only way.
Would that make sense to you? I mean, it makes complete sense to me.
It does.
Damn. That would be a pretty dope movie to see. If they brought her back and did flashbacks about how it happened, if he did it while she was sleeping, or if he did it like...
I think they're gonna do that
kind of in a kidnapped way, you know?
I think they're gonna do that in the next movie.
I would hope so, man. I would really hope so.
And it's got to show like what he's doing, because they're gonna be in cryosleep for 7 years on their way to that planet.
Yeah,
so
fucking long. He's gonna. By the time she gets out of that ship, it's gonna be like an alien spaceship, you know?
Yeah, and that's assuming that he stays on course.
Yeah.
Like, what is he gonna do for all that time,
dude? And okay, so I'm just gonna be nitpicking here a little bit. You know, the part where Walter was an upgraded synthetic, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you saw in the part, because they almost zoomed up on it, highlighted it, that Walter could repair his skin. Because whenever fucking David pulled that shit out of his neck, his skin repaired itself, remember?
He pulled something out of his neck?
When they were fighting.
I thought he just hit him.
He hit him on the neck, but then he pulled something out, and remember you could hear he went like this, went
Oh, I kind of remember that. I know he hit him on the neck, and then that milk stuff came out of his mouth.
Yeah, but he pulled something out of his neck. But then it showed his skin repairing itself. It went back and covered itself. And so that's the thing. How did Daniels not know that was not Walter? If Walter could repair himself, but then Daniels helped David staple his cheek shut.
Well, Walter also got his hand bit off,
and it didn't repair itself. Yeah, that's true.
Then also, so that means David had to have cut his hand off.
Yeah.
In order to fool them, to make him really believable. And it's funny because in the Prometheus, he talks to Shaw and says after she gives herself the C-section in the fucking med pod machine to get the alien out of her. Mm-hmm. He says remarkable survival instincts or some shit like that, you know? So he learned probably from Shaw, like fucking how to fucking do all this shit. Like, he's willing to cut his own hand off.
Most definitely.
And do all this crazy shit, and like he's gotten good at it.
Most definitely, dude.
He's good enough to trick them. And good enough to kill Walter, who's apparently an upgraded version of him.
Yeah. But it was just and the thing is they didn't even bother to check, you know? They didn't even bother to check.
Until the very end, she's just like, help me build my cabin.
Yeah, until she's completely
like,
vulnerable.
What the fuck are you talking about, bitch?
And she's
you
like,
don't know the cabin by the lake?
Yeah, and she's like, the cabin by...
David?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, bitch.
But the thing is, like...
Back to sleep for you.
So they just let him run on the ship, not even questioning, hey, is that really Walter?
Crazy.
Is that really Walter? I mean, we questioned it in the theater while we were watching it. We questioned it. Why the hell did they not question it? They should have been questioning that,
the way they were showing it in the movie is like they're fighting, and then it shows him like, it's your choice now, brother, and it like the camera flashes over to a knife laying there on the ground, and then like, it never shows how the conflict ends. It just shows one of them walking away victorious, and
it doesn't show.
I was like, wait a minute.
And I know why they did it, but man, hold on, I'm gonna turn this around real quick. It seems like that side's picking up way more clearly for some reason. So I just want to see what happens. Alright, say something, dude?
Something, dude.
I don't know. It seems to be kind of the same a little bit. Oh, no. There is a bit of a difference, it looks like.
I can't tell the difference.
You can't tell?
Maybe in the after when we listen to it.
Okay. Yeah, because it's on the right setting. That's odd. Let me see. Hello. Yeah, that's so weird. I guess it's just because how our voices are, you know, they're different.
Yeah.
Sorry. Alright, so I mean, that was kind of odd for me, man, that they didn't know it was David, that they didn't know it was... Oh, you hear that, dude? That beeping?
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be one of our phones. Yeah. It was. I don't know. I just found it odd that they didn't even question that it was not Walter, you know? Yeah. So, let's see. Oh, yeah, and that's another... Yeah. Going on off of that clueless kind of point, so they get to this planet, they reach where that ship crashed, the beacon signal, but they never, not at one point did they ever stop and look around and realize, look, it's a fucking city, you know? It was a planet of a previous alien race, you know? How did they not ever stop and like look at that? Because they did these really nice shots of like from the sky looking down, and it shows this big ass city, big old monuments and shit, and it shows them walking through that courtyard with David, and not once before that did they ever look around and notice that. How would you not notice giant ass buildings and markings into the walls?
There was like a big storm going on apparently, and they didn't have good signal with the ship, right?
Right, yeah.
So the whole movie, there was an issue with the connection, and they were trying to boost the signal, and they couldn't communicate properly because of the storm.
Yeah. I mean,
and then they ended up having Danny McBride drove the fucking like forklift. Basically, is what it was, like some kind of mover shit. It wasn't built for deep space, I think, is what he said.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Then he fucking ends up driving it all the way onto the planet to try to get them off of there.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, how did they not notice these things? Like, they didn't notice, or at least question, about David between David and Walter, who was who, about the city, walking through this planet. They walked, I think they said 7 kilometers, and not once did they stop and notice anything that this was a previous civilized world. Let's see. The other one was, the helmet things. Nobody ever questioned that. Like, it would have been, I think it would have made the movie, not the movie, whole movie, but just that part of the movie a little bit more believable if somebody had protested walking out there without helmets.
Or if at least one dude pulled a bandana out of his back pocket
or something, and
tied it over his face,
like, fuck,
just in case.
Or somebody was just like, no, fuck that
really
shit.
Skeptical.
Yeah, like, no, fuck that. And everybody else is like, oh, it's alright. Our meters say it's okay. It's almost identical to Earth. And then there'd be one guy who's just like, oh, no, fuck that. I ain't walking nowhere without a helmet, you know? Like, if they would have set it up like that, okay, I would have believed they would have walked out without helmets at that point, because they kind of explained it, but they didn't. They just walked right out and made themselves 100% vulnerable to that alien virus, you know?
They just sat themselves right down in the water. They don't know if there's like sharks or like any kind of crazy water creatures down there. They're just, we're gonna just land amphibious and we're just gonna crawl out.
Yeah.
Just walk knee deep in the water. We don't know. There could be shit in there, like, whatever.
Well, they treated this planet.
It didn't even look like they had galoshes on. Like, they could have caught in that water, and the water could have had some parasites in it or something that's microscopic. They couldn't even possibly have detected. But they're like, nah, I'm just gonna jump in with my sneakers.
Yeah, no, they treated that expedition like they were taking a trip to the beach or something.
Yeah,
like it was
not do a lot of. No preparation or like
nothing, and not only that, but they didn't even explain the preparation, like how they came to saying that, oh, it's fine to breathe on this planet, because nobody in their right mind would just walk out there without any data. So at least show that there was data.
Maybe they were trying to talk not talk shit, but you know how that the guy who took over James Franco's place as captain,
yeah,
he was like supposedly a man of faith or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe he was trying to take it as like, oh, this is a sign, like maybe this is what has to happen, like it's a miracle, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they were trying to be like. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but
I don't know, man. It's just these. I'm just nitpicking, really. I
guess he was kind of illogical for all the shit he was doing because he was just going blindly by faith.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was trying to say.
Well, he did kind of kill everybody for going onto that planet.
And he was the captain, so it was his call and his responsibility, but he was kind of doing what everybody else wanted to do because nobody wanted to go back into the pods.
Especially, witnessing James Franco get fried to death.
But he was kind of just like the only guy of faith or whatever on the whole thing.
Yeah, everybody else is supposed to be like a person of science. At first,
maybe they were making a point, or maybe that was a. Did they do that intentionally? Do you think?
Maybe I
think in movies everything is intentional.
Well, yeah, no, I think they did it intentionally. But at first, I thought they were gonna take it a step further. I thought they were gonna do some kind of thing where oh, see, it's a good thing to be a person of faith. I thought they were gonna go that way for a second. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like look at the person with faith is the one that came out alive, type of thing.
Oh no!
But
when he actually caught David, like, communicating with that one alien, he was, like, breathing on its nose or something. So it's like, if you do this to a horse, it will be yours forever. Yeah. Or some shit like that. He's like, it trusted me. How could you...
Dude, that was one of the parts that was pretty memorable of Michael Fassbender's acting.
Yeah.
The way he yelled no, excuse me, and just seemed so distraught of watching that alien get shot and killed. He acted like as if that was his own child that was dying. But I guess technically it is. He kind of created that, so.
He shows a lot of emotion for an android.
A ton, yeah. Yeah. Which is cool. I mean,
The whole thing where he's like showing the other Walter how to play the flute.
That was a little weird. I don't know.
It was weird.
And then he kisses him.
That was a distraction, though. That was just like to throw him off.
Yeah.
Then right after that, he fucked him up, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So he just did that to like fuck with him, I think. But then he also was like getting really rapey with fucking what's her face Daniels, remember? Mm-hmm. Like when he was fighting her, then he like was trying to kiss her too.
Oh yeah, he was being such a creep, dude. Yeah. And he was like, she was like, "What'd you do to Shaw? You didn't. She didn't die in the crash. What did you do? Yeah, same thing I'm about to do. Yeah,
fucking crazy."
He's like, "Fuck, what did he do to Shaw? He wants to make another queen. Watch, dude. That's what he wants."
God damn, I can't. They gotta do some more answers in the next movie about that.
Yeah, man, I want to know. Man, I want to know so bad. Yeah, so the aliens, they get on, or not aliens, but one gets on the ship, somehow. How did that guy he got infected somehow because the alien blood burnt his cheek? Is that how it happened?
Huh?
Yeah.
No, he got burned, but I forgot how he died exactly.
A xenomorph came out of him. That's how the one got on the ship. Remember, it said, it showed Daniels relaxing in her room or whatever, and then it was like unknown life form in blah 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 in medic bay. Remember? And they go in, and the guy that had the fucked up cheek had his chest burst open, and there was a fucking alien in there.
Fuck, I forgot about that. I'm gonna have to rewatch them.
How would you forget about that, dude? But how did he get infected? What I'm wondering is like, how did he get infected? I'm thinking David must have did something to him while they were on there. He must have injected him with something because that's where the last alien came from. The one that was on the ship. You know? Because there was the one that died on that little, the mover ship that, Tennessee used. Tennessee is
Danny
McBride. He used to pick up Daniels, but then that alien jumped on there, remember? And so then Daniels goes out there on top and hitches herself to that hitch thing and battles him, which ended quite quickly. You know, it was real sudden because he got 1 in a million shot, somehow got that alien inside of the clamp of that mover thing. Like, what were those things? A crate mover or something? I don't know. Anyway, so they trap it in there, and it's kind of squirming around trying to escape, and then eventually she gets presses the button, and just squirts it to mush, and so that one dies. Everybody gets to the ship, including David, pretending to be Walter. They take the guy with this fucked up cheek to the med bay. They start putting these like these tan colored little marbles on his cheek. You remember?
Right. Yeah.
And the lady was like, I'm no surgeon. I'm just a medic. He's gonna need reconstructive surgery. Blah blah blah. And so they leave that guy resting in there. They go fuck in the shower or whatever. But then that's when it shows Daniels chilling in her room, like about to sleep, when the alarm goes off saying undetected or unknown life form in medbay. And then it shows them running. It does that really cool shot of Danny McBride kind of waiting there at the beginning of the hallway, and it shows Daniels running towards the camera, and then he holds out the gun, and she grabs it, and then he runs right behind her.
Yeah.
And then that's when they run up to the medbay door, and they notice, oh fuck, the guy with the fucked up cheek, his chest exploded. Now there's one of those black aliens in there. And it breaks out. Remember, I
don't remember how he got infected.
I don't either. But do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So but I don't know how he got infected, which I was questioning almost right away. I'm thinking maybe it was the blood that burned him. Maybe that's all it took.
I don't know. That's just acid, though. I can't. Could have just been another spore, because apparently it's airborne, so it could get into your nose or your fucking ear or your eye or your mouth.
Yeah, it must have been something like that.
At that point, yeah, it's like, fuck, you guys are already seeing people die. Put a fucking mask on.
Yeah, right? And this whole movie, that's all it's been, is just people dying from this virus, and then aliens be coming from that and like, killing even more.
I don't know how I got infected, but I'm gonna keep walking around out here without any cover.
Exactly. Oh, man. But again, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it.
I love it.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'm always going to be a fan of Alien. I'm going to watch all the rest of them that Ridley Scott makes.
You know,
Ridley Scott.
If they're gonna go with this route that he just ended up killing everything, then go a little bit deeper with David and show him how he did it. Like maybe even show like what he had to go through to finish off the little groups of engineers that survived or something. Like had to go around executing them or some bullshit like that.
I think that virus probably does it itself at that point, and he's a robot, so it doesn't affect him.
Or even like he said in the movie, it either kills you outright or turns you into a xenomorph in the process. So then why isn't the planet full of xenomorphs running around? You know?
Everything's dead. Maybe they ran out of food.
Yeah. Or the virus...
Maybe they ate everything.
The virus was so strong it just killed them automatically. Like it wasn't enough to change them, I guess.
They eventually starved to death because they ate everything on the planet, and there was no, like when they got there, they were like, "There's no animals, there's no birds,
no sound, like nothing." Yeah.
Maybe they ate everything on the planet.
Fuck.
And then they died themselves.
Maybe. Like we never heard about a xenomorph dying of old age or something like that, huh?
Shit, man, I don't think so. They're really smart though.
Well, think about it. The virus doesn't go bad. When somebody's infected, their body doesn't even decompose. Imagine how long those aliens must live for then.
I think it's in Aliens 2 or I think it may be Aliens 3 actually, where there's like 3 of them or something. They're locked in a cage, and then they make the decision to kill one of them just to use its acid blood to eat through the floor of the cage so that they're able to get out. Like
what?
They like made the decision and did all of that. Like
damn,
they're fucking smart.
That's nuts, man. So
and they're also amphibious. They can fucking swim. Like
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So that alien gets created. Now they're on the ship. At this point, the movie did a fucking really good job of convincing us that was really Walter and not David, because he was helping them kill the alien. He helped them kill the alien. He didn't fuck him over in any way during that point. And to the audience, at least to me, I was like, oh shit, maybe that is Walter. Maybe that is Walter.
Pretty sure though. I was like, as soon as they didn't show who won that fight, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But then at the very end, when that log cabin thing, oh man.
Well, it was long enough further in the movie, even though it wasn't that long, but it was long enough to where it came out as a surprise, like, because you almost not forgot about it, but almost were already convinced that that's David. I mean, look at him, he's helping them. Look, he's acting exactly how David would.
Like, he's already like tucking her in for bed, you know, like you don't think he's gonna be like, good night, sleep tight. By the way, your whole world is fucked. Yeah. Like, that's fucked. Like, she's all like, good night, going to sleep, sweet dreams. No, not. It's your worst nightmare, bitch. Fuck.
Nothing.
And then she has to like consciously know that and sleep with that and probably have dreams about that for 7 years.
That's what I'm saying. 7 years of nightmares, dude. Nothing but fucking David creating alien nightmares, dude.
And her just stuck
or aliens in her nightmares. Like, what the fuck, dude? That would be terrifying. So that's how it ends. It ends there. It shows David regurgitate fucking alien embryos. Kind of in a weird way. They're like little eggs. He places them in there with human embryos.
They look almost identical.
Yeah, and so he does that. It shows him walking through where everybody's in hypersleep. He puts on the same music that David decided to play at the beginning to Mr. Whalen when he was first created. And so kind of going back to the beginning thing, kind of, what is it called when you do that? shit.
Just call back to...
Callback? Yeah, or we're like completing the circle type thing, or I don't know. And anyways, so that was kind of cool. The way it ended, it was fucking terrifying for sure. Ending was one of the better parts. Michael Fassbender, definitely one of the better parts. So like kind of overall opinion, Nathan, what would you give this movie out of 10 shekels?
Probably at least 8.5 or 9. I fucking love Alien, and I've been waiting for this for a long time. And I love that they added Danny McBride, because he's one of my favorite actors of all time. And he played a serious role in this, and he did a fucking awesome job. He was flying the ship, and he burned the alien on the thrusters, just like fucking Sigourney Weaver did in the first Alien movie.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's all nostalgic for me, and I love it. It satisfied all of my Alien needs.
And that's exactly why I got 2 answers for that. I got 2 reviews, I think, because if you're looking for answers, if you're looking for a continuation from Prometheus to answer questions about the engineers, to go real deep into that, and you really wanted to see that story continue and finish, then no, this movie's, you're not gonna like this movie. It's gonna be like a 4 out of 10 maybe. At most at 6, if that's what you were wanting out of it. But if you're wanting a classic Aliens movies with the same stuff you know and love, you're gonna love this movie, you know, and nothing wrong with that. It's a great movie, but if you're all about paying attention to every detail of every movie and the timeline and the lore and what is it called? Continuity. Continuity, that's it. Then you're gonna have a problem with this movie, you know? Just, I don't know. Yeah, just like any movie that makes prequels, probably, you know? But, yeah. So, but again, I liked it. I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I would give this in total myself at least 7.5, you know? Almost 8. So, yeah, this was pretty much just a mini episode, our review, rant, whatever you want to call it, of Alien Covenant. This has been Dude That's Dope. Please consider subscribing, checking back every week. We will have new episodes. Again, we're hoping Tuesday. This has been Estephan and Nathan.
Thanks.
Thank you. See you next week.
Adios.
Adios.